Good morning. Good morning. Happy Halloween. Where's my bracelet? Oh dear. I lost my bracelet on the last day. Huh. Well, I guess I need to rub the magic keychain in. Last day. And I'm going to try to keep this in frame. I'm serious. Where is my bracelet? Anyhow. All right. You're up on my little paint box. Just get you a little bit closer and to try to keep you in frame. This was the lost volumes of Sherlock Holmes, and they were all found by accident in a burlap sack in the Cotswolds at a garage sale, or boot sale, as they say. So there were 30 of them. I only decided to put 26 because we were interrupted by a hurricane at my house. And we had no electricity for a week. So, some of them started out at home with all of my supplies. And the rest of them ended up at the beach with a partial supply list. So, here we go. The first one was the Bullies of Buckingham. The Bullies of Buckingham. Who is painting graffiti on the historical gates of Buckingham Palace and the Queen Victoria statue? The palace has acquired the skills and insight of the #1 consulting detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, to solve this unsightly mystery. Who poisoned Mr. Morris's roses? William Morris. Mr. William Morris is famous for using landscapes around his homes as inspiration for his highly coveted wallpapers and fabrics. His favorite gardens are located at Kelmscott Manor. Last Friday, someone has reduced the plants in his gardens to stumps. Who would do such a thing and why? Has Mr. Morris upset, insulted, or offended someone? Mr. Sherlock Holmes is on the case. This was the Butcher of Blenheim. Blenheim Palace is famous for its lavish meals for guests and the residents. Just days before an annual summer picnic, it seems all the meat has been stolen from the larders. Who would do such a thing and why? Mr. Sherlock Holmes has been summoned immediately to solve this inconvenient and unusual mystery. That's the butcher right there. And because I put the story in the tip-in, and there goes the dog, I did not have to do anything on the back, so I just kind of accessorized it. This is still my favorite. My door's closed. You can still. The Case of the Missing Ear. The Case of the Missing Ear, London's very quirky club called the Go-Go, G-O-G-H-G-O, was popular with artists, a place where they could go and talk all things Van Gogh. In said club was a statue of Van Gogh. Some nefarious patron has removed the other ear. Why and who are the questions that Mr. Sherlock Holmes must answer as the most famous consulting detective. High Street hijinks. Someone, presumably female, is painting all the shop doors on High Street pink. Who acquired all this pink paint and why? Are they defacing the stores? It is a scream for women's rights. Is it a scream for women's rights everywhere? Mr. Sherlock Holmes will get to the bottom of this curious and political mystery quickly. Then I had another resting spot with just a little pumpkin on both sides on acetate. The Jumper of Tower Bridge. I like this one too. The all-girls jump rope troupe, a all-girls jump rope troupe from London called the Jumpers of Tower Bridge are in trouble. 2 days before the South England jumping contest, all of the jumpers' ropes have been stolen. Was it the competition who stole them or worse? Never fear. A request for the most extraordinary consulting detective in all of England has been issued. Come quick, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Double-decker debacle. Double-decker buses all over London have had their doors glued shut. The citizens of London depend highly on this form of transportation, and this silly mystery must be solved immediately, says the Queen from Buckingham Palace. Sherlock Holmes has been hired to get to the bottom of this mystery. Now, it does not matter because Sherlock Holmes can time travel. And he goes back and forth between his time frame, future, whatever. Capiche? Capiche. This is the Haunted Highclere. Haunted Highclere. Who is haunting Highclere? At 5 p.m. GMT, All the clocks at Highclere start chiming for 5 minutes. Every morning at 5, someone from the staff finds a cheeky note with "It's 5 o'clock somewhere." This is mainly for people in the United States. Although he could be world famous, I don't know. Is it someone from the household staff creating this mischief, or is it the grumpy old man and the next man are over, Mr. Jimmy Buffet, doing all this mayhem because he so wants to buy Highclere? The Earl's family will never sell, but they have hired Mr. Sherlock Holmes to solve the mystery and save the castle from the 5 o'clock problem. And those are parts of 5s everywhere. I like that one too. And then because I did another tip-in, I had a resting spot back here. And this was an acetate I think I got from Kelly Perky's club, the paper person. But she went out a bit. She stopped for a while, but I think she's back, according to a couple people. So that's good. The Hound of Columbia. If you've been here for any length of time, you know that he just announced himself. A very mischievous dog. The Hound of Columbia. Who is stealing all the bacon from the Ivy restaurant in Covent Garden? The staff of the restaurant has determined it's a dog getting into the supply room. However, he's sneaky. Nobody sees him, but he is leaving footprints. Mr. Sherlock Holmes has been hired mainly to set a trap for the little thief. However, Mr. Holmes is in Baskerville, so his associate, Mr. Watson, will need to solve this caper. There's lots going on here. The Hound of Baskerville. My dog. Ivy restaurant in Covent Garden, where we ate at in real life. St. Paul's Potion. St. Paul's Potion, the majestic cathedral of St. Paul, has a mystery. Mr. Sherlock Holmes, the #1 consulting detective, has been tasked to solve the mystery of the potion. Every day between noon and 3, the ketchup bottle and the mustard bottle contents are switched in the lunchroom. Imagine when Father Tom tries to add ketchup to his fries at lunch and mustard squirts out. Father Mark is the clergy who coined the word potion, as he was the one who got mustard in his tomato soup, and it swirled in his bowl like potion. Sherlock Holmes has grumbled about this case as a person who works mostly at night. Noon is not his most favorite hour. The cathedral is desperate. Set your alarm, Mr. Holmes. Parliament Puzzler. There's puzzle pieces here. The Palace of Westminster, home to the House of Parliament, filled with commons and lords, has a mystery. Somebody is leaving puzzle pieces in the benches and chambers. Every morning, the cleaning crew finds at least 7 new pieces. The new pieces never fit with the old pieces. What does this mystery mean? Political protest? Practical jokester? Or something evil? The security cameras have yet to pick up anybody trespassing overnight. What happens the night Sherlock Holmes spends the night in chambers in order to catch the puzzler? Another resting spot. Cotswolds Caper. I like this one. The Cotswolds area of England is a fairy tale treasure. Tourists flock to the area to see quaint villages, beautiful countryside, and very good food. The favorite dish to order almost all the restaurants in the region is shepherd's pie, served with a side of mushy peas with capers. This year, mad pigeon disease has taken over England, and the only cure is capers tea. It seems somebody has taken all the capers in the Cotswolds and are hoarding the mud pigeon cure. Surely Mr. Sherlock Holmes, #1 consulting detective, can solve the mystery of the hoarder of the capers and thus allow all tourists to enjoy mushy peas with capers once again. There's many reasons that happened, because at that time we were hoarding toilet paper on the East Coast because the dock workers were going to go out on strike, and the hurricane had just happened, and a lot of people didn't have any supplies. Was Albert victorious? This is a very close second. Albert Charles was to play Wimbledon this year. Having won all the matches so far, he qualifies for the all-grass court championship. However, his rackets have all been damaged overnight, the day before the championship. He will have to use someone else's rackets. Who damaged the champ's rackets, and will he be victorious after all? Questions only the #1 consulting detective can answer. Come quick, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, and wear your whites. Lost at Liberty. This was the morning I saw a ghost at my house back home. Really, truly, I did. I've never believed in that kind of stuff, but I really saw one. So it's on ghost paper. I made these ghosts, but these ghosts were made at another time with seashells. I just traced around them. Lost at Liberty. Last Sunday, a little girl was lost in Liberty on the 3rd floor in fabric. Her mother and father searched high and low for her to no avail. Did someone take her? Did she wander off, or is she still in the store? Store workers can hear a little girl laughing at midnight when they are cleaning. Monday night, she could be heard in china. Tuesday night, she was heard in children's clothing, and Wednesday, she was heard in perfume. First, is this the lost girl, or is there a ghost at liberty? Second, if this isn't the lost girl, who is it, and where is the lost girl? Mr. Sherlock Holmes has come out of retirement for this last case. He doesn't like to go to Liberty, as he too was lost there as a child, but the little girl must be found. Was Big Ben ever big? Controversy at the clock. The original blueprints for Big Ben were just found. During a recent audit of historical documents, plans for the construction of a clock for Windsor Castle were recently located. The original plans called for a mantel clock specifically for the Red Room at the castle. So how did a mantel clock grow to Big Ben at Parliament? Rumor has it the Queen found the clock too big upon completion of construction and scolded her manservant Ben by saying, "Ben, that clock is too big." Ben, whose wife worked in the House of Parliament, took the clock and its plans to work, and the rest is history. Mr. Sherlock Holmes never believed this story and has taken it upon himself to find the real reason a clock was built on the shores of the Thames River. Poisoned fish and chips. Piccadilly Circus has a problem. The LED screen, usually meant for news or sporting events for the huge crowds, is stuck at a picture of fish and chips. The restaurants in the area can't give away fish and chips to their customers as they are tired of looking at the meal. The fish in all the area is going bad, smelling like rotten seaports they are. Mr. Sherlock Holmes, please call Mr. Steve Jobs and figure out how to fix the LED screen. Piccadilly Circus chefs are begging you to help. Please bring back football to the screen and down with constant fish and chips. This one is upside down. Not intentional, but it works. 221C, the missing baker. The missing baker of 221C. The weekend of Ascot, the famous horse race, is a time of pageantry and a little bit of horses. This race is a favorite of the royal family. Traditionally, the VIP boxes each have a chef and their choice of menus. This year, the royal family is thrilled to have a chef and a baker. The baker, Mr. Frank Flower, has the honor of making his famous scones for all the royal family and their guests. One problem. The day of the final race, the baker is missing. A thorough inspection of his flat, 221C East Street, has revealed a massive disturbance, but no baker. Mr. Sherlock Holmes, please rush to 221C and find the baker. The scones are sorely missed. Who is hidden in Hyde Park? Tuesday, the front desk at the Victoria and Albert Museum received a cryptic note. It read, "We have him. He's alive, but how long depends on you. Ransom is 200 pounds and a new kilt for my dad. Your man is hidden close to or maybe in Hyde Park. You have until Wednesday at noon to meet our demands or he is gone. Mr. Holmes, please meet Scotland Yard at Hyde Park where the search is underway. But to everyone at Scotland Yard, and especially Mr. Holmes, who is hidden in Hyde Park? Who knocked over Stonehenge? Who knocked over Stonehenge? Sticks and stones may break our bones, but what happens when the stones break? Famous and ancient Stonehenge has been damaged. Either someone knocked the stone over, or many believe it was moved by a mothership. Many who were there on the fateful night report to have seen a bright light in the sky streaming from an oval-shaped object. Was it moved by UFOs? Mr. Sherlock Holmes, please come quick and watch the sky for weird happenings. Another resting spot. That paper was bought in the Cotswolds by Jenny Doan, and she gave a piece to me because I had given her a piece of my Highclere Manor paper. Crown jewels have lost their stones. This is my favorite story. The palace crown jewels are precious and many are hundreds of years old. The collection is priceless and for that reason, heavily guarded. For the last 2 weeks, almost all the guards have reported the stones breaking free of their settings and rolling around in their cases. Stones rolling, impossible. The royal guards can't get no satisfaction from their investigation and have called in Mr. Sherlock Holmes to help. Mr. Holmes reminded the guards that he works alone or with Mr. Watson, to which the guards replied, "You can't always get what you want." Can the London Eye see? SEA. When people go to London, many visit the Thames River. Along the Thames and along the House of Parliament, there is London Eye. It is a Ferris wheel type ride that will allow you to see London from a high position. Normally, there is a long line waiting for a ride on the London Eye, but not on this day. The London Eye is not in its normal spot. This day, it has been moved to the seacoast. Why, how, and when are questions for the #1 consulting detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Please help us see where the London Eye disappeared to. Oh, this is a good one, too. Oh, dear, this is coming loose. Is that supposed to be there? I don't think so. Who twisted Oliver? Who twisted Oliver? The Oliver Candy Shop is in the Piccadilly neighborhood. It has a very large display of candy found in the UK and in many other countries. However, the much-loved twisted tea cakes are missing from their normal shelf. Monday, half of the stock was missing. Today, the entire stock is missing. The chocolate palace guard-shaped treats are still on the same shelf. The coconut-covered chocolate crowns are still there. However, the twisted tea cakes are missing. Who has been taking them or maybe eating them? Please, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, find the twisted tea cakes in the beloved Oliver Candy Shop. At the beloved Oliver Candy Shop. The Phantom of Windsor. The Phantom of Windsor. Windsor Castle has a large green space between the protective walls. There are beautiful rose gardens located on the east end of the green space. In 1952, the staff of Windsor acquired a rose specifically in honor of the passing of King George. It was described as a very deep, deep red and was called the Phantom Rose. King George had a favorite car called the Phantom Rolls Royce. Thus the name of the rose. Somehow, this year when the rose bloomed, it was not deep, deep rose. It bloomed pale yellow. Did someone swap the original rose with a variety of yellow? Did someone treat the soil so to damage the color of the blooms? Is there a sneaky gardener? All questions for Mr. Sherlock Holmes, who has been summoned to Windsor Castle to solve this mystery. Rose, pale yellow. Oh, I don't have a title on this. I think I couldn't figure out where to put it. It probably needs to go right there. Empty crypts at Westminster Abbey. Crypts, the burial plots of famous people as well as royals, are located at Westminster Abbey. In a far corner, tucked away from mainstream traffic, is a section of crypts specified for the deceased corgis. There are 6 crypts designated for past corgis. Crypt number 1 in the far left corner of the section is currently empty. Who took the remains and why? Mr. Sherlock Holmes, please locate the mystery of the empty crypts at Westminster Abbey. That's not my favorite one. And the bugs are crawling all over the crypts. I like that part. I don't like the story. Harvest on the Nile. I do like this one. The first day of fall is the day of the Harvest on the Nile ball at Blenheim Castle. The tradition was started many years ago by the Duke of Marlborough's family. Every year, the ball is by invitation only. Attendees must wear costumes of the 1920s era, and traditional Egyptian food is served. Cumin is a very popular spice found in most dishes. This year, no cumin was imported to England. Mr. Sherlock Holmes, please locate cumin from anywhere at any expense. Hurry, it's almost the date of the ball. The chefs need cumin for almost every dish. And the final one. To be or not to be. And this one is the one I did yesterday. The Jester statue in Stratford-upon-Avon has issues. At the base of the statue are some quotes from famous Shakespeare plays. There are quotes from the 12th Night, As You Like It, and others. True. Been there, done that, Saul. Literature fans from all over the world came to this little tiny village to pay homage to the Shakespeare, to see where he was born and where the most famous plays were written. Recently, at the very base of the Jester statue, someone has added another quote. To be or not to be. From Hamlet. Someone has defaced, very cleverly, the statue, but still defaced. Please, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, come up to Stratford-upon-Avon and solve the mystery of the new quote. And this is going to be an ending page, the end. And I still need to print out my title page. And maybe put something on the cover. I don't know. I'll put something here. But that is my Halloween project for 2024. And you guys have been here through it. Love reading your comments. Here's my Shakespeare pen case that I got at the museum gift shop for William Shakespeare's house. And starting tomorrow, I have no clue. None at all. I might take some paper, just copy paper, because that's all I kind of have here. Although I do have, well, I do have some other kinds of paper here. But it's in books. I might finish this by way of cleaning out my tiny little particles dishes, because I've used these in like Procreate, and I love having these bright colors and all here. So I might do some more of that. I don't know. I don't know. I might take a bunch of pieces of paper, tape them together, and paint one big thing with a base coat and cut it back up to 8.5 by 11s or whatever, and do some more on it. I don't know. I don't know. It's a mystery. Another mystery to solve. Oh, here's some more stuff. That needs to go in my... This is part of my problem. There's too much stuff in other places. But I do know that I had fun in October. Hurricane or no hurricane. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow in November. Can you believe it's November? Ay, ay, ay.